All right, so now we're going to use Kramer's rule. So Kramer's rule is going to be used to solve this system of equations instead of matrices or using systems of equations in the typical fashion. And so what we need to do is we need to think about this. So we have to have three things. We have to have E in this case, which is going to be the determinant of, and then we have C1 and C2 and B1 and B2. And then we have F, and that's going to be the determinant of. And now we have A1, A2, and C1 and C2. And then we have our last D is equal to the determinant of A1, A2, B1, B2. Okay. Now, what happens is we can solve and find X is equal to what? Well, X is going to be equal to E over D, and Y is going to be equal to F over D. So once we find these three determinants, basically, then we just plug them into this and we can get our values out for what our X's and our Y is. Okay. So what do we have here? Well, now we have to kind of think about this. So what we have to think about is over here, this is A, this is B, and this is C. So that's going to be, we have this first one's going to be A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, and so that's going to correspond to our values here. So let's go ahead and do E first, and that's the determinant of, now C's, so that's going to be a 4 minus 2, and then B's, 4, 7. Then F, well, that's going to be the determinant of, well, that's the A's, which is 6, 6, and then the C's, which is the 4 minus 2. And then finally, the D is the determinant. Now it's just the A's and B's, so that's just the 6, the 4, the 6, and the 7. So what is this determinant? Well, that's going to be 4 times 7, which is 28, minus 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8. So 28 plus 8 is going to give us 36. Here we have 6 times a negative 2, so that's going to be a negative 12, minus 6 times 4 is going to be 24, so that's going to be a negative 36. And finally, the D, that's going to be 6 times 7, which is 42, minus 6 times 4 is 24. And so when we subtract that, we get what? It looks like 18. And so to solve for x and for y, x is going to be equal to e divided by d. So that's going to be 36 divided by 18, which is 2. And y, that's going to be what? That's going to be a negative 36 over 18, which is equal to a negative 2. So our solution is 2 comma negative 2 by Kramer's rule. Now, I highly suggest doing checks, even, doing this one. So 6 times 2 plus 4 times negative 2 equals 4. Well, that's going to be 12 minus 8, so that's 4, so that works. Here we have 6 times 2 plus 7 times negative 2 equals a negative 2. So it's minus 14 plus 12 is minus 2, and that's minus 2, so that does work. So our solution really is 2 minus 2. Okay. Again, this is simple when it's 2 by 2, matrices. That's going to be an easy one to do for our determinants for Kramer's rule.